Paranormal 3. I'll make it a pretty quick one. Just going to look at one or two items that I actually bought second hand to bring into the home. Also aware that when you buy second hand stuff, you can bring an atmosphere with it, or you might bring somebody with it, I don't know. I've always been okay per se with it, if that's a good word. But yeah, one or two things. First one, old-fashioned record player. Always loved them because when I was a kid we had an old-fashioned wind-up. And I also loved the one with the big brass trumpet. It looks really cool. And I found one on the flea market. Gotta have that, so I bought it. The man brought it round. I don't know if I played it once or not at all. I can't remember, but it wouldn't work. It was, because I'd wound it up and it was going round. Then all of a sudden it didn't work, and I looked on the insides, and this little flywheel that goes round and everything keeps it at 78 or something, I suppose. Gone. So I don't know if somebody didn't want me playing it. And I never noticed at the time. I put it in the hall down there on the table. It's got other things now. And like I said, I was touching it a lot to try and fix it. And I noticed that my hands smell. I go, God, it is really a bad smell. And all I can explain it as was either something that had been set in a really pongy garage or something for years, or it had been in a house where maybe someone lived that wasn't very clean, and it was a really, really bad smelly house, and all that had took it in. I don't know, that's what I assumed, but you could not get rid of the smell. You touched it. I cleaned it down with water and a solution of bleach. I cleaned it with a solution of what's that stuff I can't think of what it is. It's white powder anyway, bicarb. I washed it down with that, cleaned it down with that. I sprayed it. I put a bowl, I lifted the top up, put a bowl inside with the bicarb in that's supposed to suck. You couldn't do it. You just got hold of that for a couple of minutes and your hands smelt. And when I looked at it, I thought, is this the smell of a dirty place, or is it one of these where possibly somebody died, they haven't been found for considerable time, and that smell of the body would go into the building, and any object in the building, that smell would go into that, I suppose. And in the end I was feeling very much like that's probably what it was. But just could not get rid of it. The hall smelled of it, touch it, you smelled of it. In the end, although I hate doing this sort of thing, I took the metal trumpet off, and I think I kept the metal bit that does that, because I thought I could probably build another one of these, put the trumpet and everything on. I think I kept the turntable, and there were metal parts, and make a mock-up one and put electrics in it and it'd be an MP3 player or something. And then sadly the wood box of it, elegant looking box, and the insides and all that sort of thing just had to go. So yeah, that was a very strange experience really. You just could not get rid of it till I got rid of it. I've still got the trumpet and that in a black bag. I don't know what it'd be like if I open the black bag. To be seen. The other thing, I bought a clock, a little mantelpiece type clock, wood. The back was Bakelite, so you can tell it was old. Wind up, which I quite like the idea of, although I flipping hate winding them up. And it did work, but of all the things that I buy and feel nothing, I didn't feel particularly good with that. It felt like, it wasn't ominous, it wasn't evil, nothing like that. It just had a really bad atmosphere, like it had been in a home that people in it weren't very nice, and the atmosphere of the place it picked up. So for a little while it would sit there in the hall, and it'd just be sitting there. If I sort of went along, picked it up and everything, then I'd get all that. But after a little while, that went, and I think that bad atmosphere that came with it dissipated, and it took on the feeling of my place. And I'm sure somebody else somewhere else would have probably felt what this place feels like. But it stopped going, it wouldn't blooming go. Again, I don't know whether somebody just didn't want me flipping using it or what. And it sat around for a considerable time, and then that went the way of the bin. Well, I think it did. I don't think I put it away anywhere. I think it went the way of the bin. So really that was just two little bits that of objects that came into the home and had something not quite right with them. When I first moved in here, Jeff, the man who had been here about 13 years or some odd, had died. He died in a hospice or somewhere. So he didn't actually die here, but he probably visits. I've got no problem with that. It was very, very strange when I moved in. Things kept happening. A light up there that had sort of like 4 or 5 spotlights. Bulb would go. Put another one. Bulb would go. Bulb would go. Bedside light. Bulb would go. A light in here. Bulb would go. Bulbs were going all over the place. I was thinking, flipping heck, I feel like a farmer setting flipping bulbs all the time. The cooker blew. Whoopee. Where's it? The microwave blew. The iron blew. And something, I can't remember what it was, to do with music, blew. So I was feeling pretty bloody blue. But again, I can laugh now, can't I? But then again, after a little while, that just dissipated and went to normality. Excuse me. Skip me there. I'm not going to say it wasn't funny at the time. It sort of was, and it wasn't something that bothered me. But yeah, when I moved in, I went through a period of time of all that happening. I looked down there one evening in that direction, looking at the telly, laying on a 3-piece idea. Look down, there's orbs about 2.5 foot or something above the ground. I just looked, I thought, oh, orbs. I just turned around and carried on watching television. So I don't know what happened to them, whether they dissipated or what, because I've gone back to telly. So yeah, that's a little bit of how this house was, how this flat was, and a little bit of 2 of the things that I actually brought in. So when I buy things, I hope that they're going to be okay. And generally, when I buy something and I hold it, I can feel that it feels okay. And I'm sure the clock did. Like I said, it wasn't ominous or anything. It wasn't aimed at me. I was just picking up where it had been, and it hadn't been in a very happy environment. The record player, still a mystery, because I didn't find out any more about that really. But looking back, the smell, although at the beginning I thought, really smelly place. Yeah, I just feel that it was somebody had passed on and been around for a fair while, and that's why it was in circulation. But there you go. So there, folks, there's Paranormal 3. Not so exciting, but let's see what Paranormal 4 brings. Have fun. Don't do anything I want. Behave. Hope your bulbs are alright.